let's jump into it. Play y'all. And there are, I know in one of the songs there's...
Let's begin.
He references Neon Genesis. So I think a lot of the aesthetic is also from Neon Genesis, obviously. It's weird, they really make you they really make your eyes kind of follow the the lyrics here. I don't know if any of y'all book readers, but it reminds me of now I don't want to sound fancy because I never finished the book either, but House of Leaves. You know what House of Leaves is? It's like a horror book, and it's about this house that like changes shape on the inside, and so like each page is like different. There's like you'll turn a page and there'll be like the words are all in a spiral. You have to like follow it in weird ways. It's really trippy. It's kind of the vibe I get from these lyric videos. And it's showing in the house, showing a fancy house that looks like the house from House of Leaves. I wonder. I kind of like that melody on the guitar, though. By the way, if anybody's new, use my notepad. Okay, so the songs transition into each other. I'm gonna write down Youtopia. House of Leaves. I wonder if they just mentioned Shape of Punk to Come because of that guitar tone. It's like kind of the same guitar tone from that album. Kind of buzzy, staticky.
I was thinking they said that because like that album didn't like no one cared about it when it came out, but then like a year later everybody that album.
Oh, welcome in, Morgan Hayes. Oh shit. Fake down. You heard this song? No, I've not. I heard like a snippet of it. By the way, I don't know if y'all can read it if you're on like mobile. I'm streaming to Twitch as well, so the chat is up here. You can see people talking both YouTube and Twitch. They're kind of small. I tried to make them a little bit bigger. We do have 11 people on YouTube right now, and 4 over on Twitch. Little bit of heavy part for a second. The guitar, True Wants a Band says guitar solo feels so tacked on. Yeah, you know, at least they, you know, I think it's kind of part of their keep you on your toes kind of thing. They kind of do just tack shit on, you know? No more live TikTok. I actually am live on TikTok right now. We've been having issues with it though, so I have to like turn it off when we get to the review portion. Top 10 statues that cried blood. Very interesting. Get your eyes ready. I see that.
Just born with tragedy in our blood. It's just basic chemistry.
At least I don't have it in full screen. Pitwitch, welcome in. Is that like the song title a reference to how this video is supposed to hurt your eyes? Statues that cried blood and you're sitting here, it's hurting your eyes. The new Bring Me is hyperactivity in music form. Basically. It's like cyber grind without being, I guess cyber pop is more what you would call it, but it's, you know, cyber grind aesthetic for sure. Cyber grind, like basically when people take what's that fucking band that I hate? 1,000 gex, 1,000 gex, whatever the fuck that means. Like that, but with metal in it. Good God. I like that. That's a nice riff. It's too bad you don't get like a whole lot of that. Like, really focus on that. It's a pretty good riff. There has been some Cyberbribe releases this year. So
That one felt very from first to last to me.
yeah, so I read all the comments, like I said, on Burb's Twitter thing and about him. You know, he said emo, and you know, a bunch of people were like, what emo are you talking about? There's no emo in it. And I was like, you know, I don't know. But then as listening to it, you know, lyrically it basically is, I would say. Lyrically it's very, it is, if you kind of focus on that. Oh, people have been pissed about this song, Jordan. They say it's a rip of Mood Ring. Was this like Silent Hill?
Feeling good, but it's never good enough. Got a bellyache crawling in my guts again. Come closer. I'll swallow the
True Wants a Band, probably not anything that sounds exactly like this, but more of the craziness. What's that fucking one we listened to? Falling with Scissors. Not exactly. It's got like cybergrind elements in it. Rip of people say this song is a rip of a band called Mood Ring. There's a song that is very close to the same like vocal pattern and guitar, though I would argue that it's just derivative of Deftones, and this is derivative of Deftones. So it's not really. And I see a lot of people even on Facebook, someone tagged like the Hunter and someone else was like they need writing credits for this. think Jordan's bored? No, I think they're just focusing on reading. I like how they kick up the drum pattern at this end part here. It's kind of subtle. That's pretty good. Honestly, if they gave me a whole album of that, I would probably enjoy it, to be honest. What the fuck? Why is the closed caption on for... I don't even know what language that is. Oh, fuck. Don't give a fuck if I got my arm bleeding. Zeusball says this is as close to super mainstream cybergrind might get, to be honest, because there are small elements of it. Basically, it's like a little watered down cybergrind. And I don't mean watered down in like a bad way, just more digestible. You want a better term for it. Yeah, I turned the closed caption off. I don't know why it was on there. It was really weird because it was in a different language. I don't know why. I think that's like for the what's the I can't think of the well, just wait 30 seconds. Jordan's got a potty. Jordan's got a potty break. All right, we'll pause for a second while Jordan goes to the potty. Yeah, this was this one definitely kind of felt more like a filler kind of song. Nothing, it wasn't bad or anything, just nothing. It didn't have any of the elements of the interesting kind of shit from the other songs. So it was just like a, you know, a song. I guess this would it could have been maybe a song off of what is that album? I always forget the name of it. Babe, what's the album with Happy song on? That's the Spirit. Be kind of that kind of vibe. But still overall just a kind of a little flat. Amo, I didn't listen to Amo because the singles from that I hated. So no, Amo. They said Amo. That's the one. It's an album they put out like a couple 4 years. Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. I think that was technically the only album. I think they also had an EP. They had Amo and then something else, right? I think something like that. I didn't care. So while Jordan's pottying, I'm just gonna ramble for a minute. So I think for me, Bring Me the Horizon's peak was Sempiternal. I call it Senpai-ternal. I think that was like their peak of like crazy like songwriting. Not, I guess you wouldn't say crazy because this is the definition of crazy. But just like it was just like completely different from everything else at the time, which I guess you could say this is too. That's kind of what they aim for. A noise industrial project of B-sides. Yeah, sounds amazing. So there's that. Sempiternal was their peak. That's the Spirit I did not give a shit about for a while, but it grew on me over time. Thanks to Tana, my wife over here. Listening to that grew on me over time, and then now I pretty much like all the songs on it. Nothing is still as good as Sempiternal, but and then of course Suicide Season, Count Your Blessings when they were deathcore. Great stuff. That one, There Is a Hell, I don't think I've ever actually fully sat through that album. I think I've heard songs off of it. Jordan, are you watching on your phone? Is that what you're doing? You want me to go ahead and play the music while we're sitting here? The singles for this album have been bananas. This one's featuring Under Oath. What was that last song? Darkside. That one I didn't care for. I'm gonna write that one down. Darkside. Filler. This gotta be Under Oath. Oh yeah, they got pictures of Aaron and what's his nuts. Okay, so the fact that they use that lyric on the song with Under Oath, what the fuck does that mean? If Jesus comes back, we'll just kill the fucker twice. The Christian band. Yeah, I know they haven't. They're like away from that, but still, that's. an interesting choice, and it has to have been deliberate. Because I didn't know that was a lyric in the album. I know because they kind of had like a whole controversy because they named their tour that, and there was that one bitch that was like, oh, they're sacrilegious. Yeah, tongue-in-cheek. They probably thought it was funny, to be honest. I would imagine Under would be like, oh, hell yeah, we'll scream this part. Yeah, there was that one girl who was like, I'm pretty sure she was just fucking grifting. I don't think, there's no way someone was so serious about Bring Me the Horizon being atheist. It's like, I gotta delete their music off of, I can't believe they would say that.
Seek the truth. For my part in this, God forgive me.
It's very interesting. Interlude-ish. I feel like this is like some shit from Revelations or something. What hoodie am I wearing? It's Oceano. $80 hoodie. A little too big, but it's got my face tattoo on the back. Crescent moon. Going to see them next week at So What Fest Sunday. If anybody is going to be out there. Tana's mad we didn't get to go see Amira tonight because my babysitter bailed and we couldn't find another one. We're supposed to be seeing Unity and a mirror chamber. I know. I have an Amir tattoo. I want to see him too.
Why not go ahead and share it?
I definitely didn't feel like driving to Dallas. That's for sure.
My name's Ali and I'm an addict. I'm here 'cause I'm not quite over. What used
You don't like it?
to be my idea of life is not just me.
It's soy sauce.
checking my pulse in my underwear.
Tana got Chinese from the place next door.
Eat shit, go to hell. I could
Why does this feel like
jump
Inner
first
Shikari?
out the window, dark force keep
I
on
think it's the British,
filling
the British
up
part.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Beatles.
Make love to a chainsaw, wrap my drop top round the lamppost. Not sure I'll be coming back down this time. So maybe
kind of conflicted on the lyrics. Like, they're kind of corny, but at the same time, I mean, maybe it's just like he's like literally writing how he feels. I don't know.
To hell, I could jump head first out the window. Dark thoughts keep on filling up in my mind.
Very personal. Yeah. Also adding the screens in there randomly, really interesting too. So it says I've watched the next two songs. I don't remember if I have or not. I guess we'll see. Oh. Okay, I do remember this one. This is where he mentions the Evangelion.
No, no, he's alive! Holy crap! Grab the syringe! Quick, grab the needle! You bastard! Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm assuming that, okay.
Watching Evangelion with a big fat slug of cannon. I lost the plot a little while ago. My dog just died, my friends hate me. I saw myself on MTV. My ego is not my amigo. Maybe I don't belong on this planet. Red crescent moons all over my hands. It's too much to take.
When did this song came out forever ago, didn't it? May of, it's like literally a year ago. Yeah, I like the melody of the chorus. It's very catchy.
Imaginary enemies, suicidal tendencies. Serotonin's proper on its arse. I used to go to therapy. The doctor tried to section me. The next time that I open up to someone will be my autopsy. Because I don't think I belong on this planet. Red clouds and moons alone.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts about the burb thing. I'm gonna. I don't know. Akira reference. I need Akira on VHS. That's one of my grails. I haven't gotten Akira on VHS. Because there's a scene. Look, I'll show you.
No, you gotta get Akira on Laserdisc.
The I don't know what to type to find it specifically. It's Kira. It's when he wakes up. What's his name? Tetsuo or Kaneda. It's been so long since I've watched the movie. I can't remember which one is which.
Tetsuo is the one that gets mutated.
Yeah, it's when he walks out. It's when he like wakes up out of the hospital bed and he walks out and there's like people standing there and they just like instantly just like on the wall. What happened to the? Why did it stop the?
Maybe I'll just be fucked up forever. Should have figured myself out by now. I'm not done to tear myself open. No.
I feel like that melody sounds very familiar too.
So won't you break me down, make me get better. I confess I'm a mess, I'm kind of error. Well, maybe I was destined to disappear. We're just a room full of strangers looking for something to say.
Here it is. I'll pull this up.
It's called
Akira. Tetsuo explodes hospital workers. Mute it. Whoop. They just whoop. Hell yeah. Good movie. 1987. Good year. I know my 3 least liked parts of this album and the fact they shouldn't be on the album. This is one of them. I think it's because I can see what you mean, and I would probably agree, kinda. Strangers. A little bit of riffing. I think it's because they kind of get you used to how like crazy and weird all the other shit is. And so like when there's songs that are just kind of more standard, it feels kind of like a... But I think it's kind of more of a break also. Yeah, they are good at writing choruses, for sure. One of the comments I saw on, I think it was on Facebook or something, said the album sounds like Bring Me the Horizon took different bands on each song and just ran it through AI. I think this one was better than the Dark Side. I can see how it's definitely. What a video.
Did my back hurt your knife? Do you think you're bulletproof? Go chat shit all you like. You and I both know the truth. Plot twist, I don't give two shits about you, whether you exist. Shipping if you think there'll be a happy ending. Still alive, but you're dead to me. The voices in my head, I'll never leave.
Very.
How they use lines to under oath.
Yeah. All of these songs, maybe not songs, but the videos at least, have throwbacks to the other videos. They'll have like words in the background or something.
In a bit late, it's been fun. In a near-death kind of way.
So I'll give them props at least for making it a whole thing. You know, they really do focus on. That lo-fi filter over the bass is like clipping. Interesting choice as well. But I guess it's it says Dustcore remix. I don't know if it's actually a remix or if that's just the title that they just titled it that way. Because that seems like some shit they would do.
Honestly, the drums almost remind me of Knockers.
Really?
How like loud.
A parasite or a heart disease. So stay the fuck away from me. Now there's no remedy. How'd you fucking mind it? Fantasy.
Babe, did you see? I meant to ask you. Do they sell monsters in the Chinese place? I took 2 to work. I forgot I had Zeus Bolt says the song that featured was
We've gathered
Aurora
here
was
today
supposed to
to
feature
honor
Billie
the
Eilish.
memory
Oh,
of-
they featured someone else.
And although they are no longer with us, they live on in our thoughts and in our hearts. We will start today's ceremony with a few words from a dear friend.
Amen. That's interesting. See the little clips. That song's like a eulogy.
I hope you have fun.
It's a very interesting transition there. This one's the one that features Daryl from Flashcraft. And, well, I should have mentioned the others. Lil Uzi Vert as well.
I remember seeing that this came out and I was just like,
What?
nope. Nope, no thanks. I like Lil Uzi Vert, but
That's Daryl.
Your fanatics prey on me, hate on me, patiently waiting to watch me bleed. Get your hair from out of my ass, got me feeling like a human centipede. Just let me breathe, stay the fuck away from me. I don't really want me, my own enemy. So tell all your friends.
He doesn't like actually like. He didn't really distract or anything. That's not like a full-on For the Fallen Dreams rap verse. That's that UK hardcore coming in. Probably the second song that has Daryl Palumbo in it that I like. The other would be that Head Automatica song. That's it.
It's simple.
Program on therapeutic.
Is DMT, and how could it help you access Utopia? Everybody stick around.
This one's called Puss-e. Puss minus E or something.
I think the question on everyone's lips is, what would you do for pussy?
Is this like an interlude as well? It's gonna be a kind of. Jungle beat. This is basically the song that I made for Darko for when they had their competition and they didn't fucking use it. Assholes. No, not trance. This is not trance at all. You're confusing it just with the different style of EDM. Like breakbeat jungle. Trance is usually like just, you know, that. That's all that is. Could say puts you in a trance. You could say pussy puts you in a trance.
Remember when it used to mean something? Remember when it was as simple as a summer sunset? Now, you will.
It's alright. I'm a very big EDM fan. Like I said, I wrote a jungle. Sorry, I have a gnat. Darko had a competition for like an interlude or an outro. It was an outro for an album, and I wrote a song for them. They didn't use it. this one. Die for You. So I hated this one the first time I heard it. Herb, he may not, I don't know if he mentions it in his album review. I'm gonna have to watch it tomorrow or something. He hated it too and got shit on for it. But he also said this album revolutionized emo, so I'm curious if he walked that back or not. Maybe I will walk it back as well.
Це приватна вечірка.
Я до Фрама, він мене чекає.
I haven't listened to it since the first time I did a reaction for it, so maybe it'll make more sense in the, you know, concept of the album.
You know that I died for, I cried for. You know that I died for you. You know that I grieve for, I bleed for. You know that I grieve for you. Let me see my halo, even though it's painful. I'm prepared to lose.
Very
You know that I died
poppy.
for, I cried for. You know that I died for.
21 Pilots.
Funny enough, 21 Pilots put out an album today as well. So we could do that one. Jordan, you want to review the...
Holding my breath for America. Hoping
Ian, what's his name from Issues played bass for them.
True. AJ.
I don't know.
feeling so fucking close.
This name AJ, it's either AJ or maybe that's a different, the other guy from the band. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wish I could escape, but you know
The one that made that solo album, that's the Master.
AJ is like the other guitarist.
He also is one of the parents.
Check your DMs before you move into the review section. There is a website that is tied to this album and a code to enter because the last song leads to it. Jesus. Cody says, for me it's catchy because it's easy to sing along to, but also nothing groundbreaking. Yeah, so I would probably, in the concept of the album, I would probably just put it with the other couple songs, the other couple filler songs. Darkside and kinda The Strangers. I think Strangers is probably the stronger one.
Сучий потрох!
This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love, this is a bloodbath. This isn't love, this is a sentence. It's a bullet in the head. This isn't love, this is a car crash. This isn't love, this is a bloodbath.
But it's also kind of like, if you really kind of focus on more the concept of it,
So pull the trigger!
I kind of like the solo. If you think of the concept of it, because a lot of the songs like are play off of each other, and the last one was "Pussy, What Would You Do for Pussy," and this one's "I Would Die for You, I Would Bleed for You." It's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of a response to that.
You know that I died for you.
I like the last, like I said, the last like 30 seconds to minute of the song. with the solo and all that. That was pretty cool.
I'm sorry. This directory is encrypted. Please enter your cipher to continue. Access granted. You have 132 documents and 1 audio log. Would you like to listen?
I wonder which voice actor they got for that, because that sounds like a... I've heard that voice before.
Pins and needles in my face, can't trust my feelings anymore. Shouldn't have looked behind the fake, my whole world's at war. Cause they've been feeding us a fable, swallowing the rabbit hole. I can't keep quiet at the table anymore. No, I hate my fucking guts right now.
Also, that he has a lyric there. I think it's just really interesting writing. He said swallowing the rabbit hole. It's kind of like a double entendre. Rabbit hole, like Alice in Wonderland. You think about it? Superstar Mikey Mike, welcome in, buddy. Listening to new Bring Me the Horizon. You would not know that from if you just came into this.
I'm sorry that I let you down. Yeah. I hate my fucking guts right now.
That's also interesting because they have a lot of like I said, there's a lot of concepts in here. So I'm wondering why they're showing Bring Me the Horizon like tour footage during this. It's very interesting for this like lyrics.
It's like this and I dig it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Though we are. Is this the last song actually? This is the last song. But this video, well, I'm gonna leave this one up. The label asked me to ask a lot of people to do a reaction video for it, so.
The video reminds me of Metal Gear Solid.
They have a lot of video game kind of references too.
Well, Shadow Moses. And then they literally made.
Don't they have a song called Shadow Moses? They have a.
That song is on Death Stranding. Sweden?
Oh yeah.
Because Kojima is a fan of Bring Me the Horizon. Probably because they made the song Shadow Moses.
Some old school. Very Suicide Season vocals right there. Been a long time since I caught any live vids or reaction from you. Well, we did take a break for a while for Christmas, around Christmas to like we started back up in like March or so.
Even the like font is like, I think it's the same font that they use for the Metal Gear Solid credits. It looks like it.
I've heard there's no spoilers, something after a couple minutes, so.
I mean, I assumed. It's like 7 minutes long, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well.
So this was after. So they did a lot of this after what's his nuts left, the Jordan Fish guy. Because I don't see his name on any of this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Even though some of these songs came out, you know.
Because it's a keyboardist Dan something.
Did they reiterate, hey, Bring Me the Horizon is these four?
Hello, user. This is M8, your personal multidimensional friend. It looks like I encountered a fatal error. Please boot me in safe mode and enter the serial number located on the side of my head. For more information, go to...
Okay. So, and then Zeus Bolt says that there's like an actual thingy here. Hold on.
I have something to say.
Well, hold on.
Probably nothing like actually substantial. I don't think. Hey.
All right, I'm gonna have to type this out. I can't pull it up because my Discord is what you're seeing right now, the cameras. So I have to I'm gonna have to type in this link by hand. Hold on. Or is there is it in the description or anything? Where did you get the link from? That's the question. All right, give me a second to type this. Hold on. Okay, accept cookies. I don't know how loud this is gonna be. I'm sorry. I can't control it.
Hello, user. Thank you for booting me in safe mode. Please enter your serial number to continue.
Here, I think I can. Sorry, I'm looking for my volume. If there's a... Yeah, I don't think I can do anything. So, here you go. 9, 3, 9, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1.
Access granted.
He sends you to meat spin. This is a good one. You weren't here at the time. We had a music video someone sent us in our live streams, and there was it was a troll, and there was a meat spin. So thank you for that. Okay, what am I doing here? What is this? There's like a bunch of buttons. I don't know what any of it does. Go to the skull. It's probably gonna be really loud. I'm sorry, y'all. Just hold your... I don't have like a volume control for this. I mean, I guess I do for y'all, but not for me. See, and they use the... This is the... Or, yeah, okay. This is the Neon Genesis. All the text and stuff from them. So what is this like? It's a 2-minute song. So what is the? Like an instrumental. What do I do after this?
This is like dot hack shit.
Right. I never got that far.
Like in the game, you like on your desktop on the computer.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm sorry. This directory is encrypted. Please enter your cipher to continue.
Oh my God, there's more codes and shit.
Oh shit.
Jesus. So there's like a whole...
Fucking codec. Metal Gear Solid codec shit.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thanks for letting us know. We'll have to... Maybe someone will
Even
make
had,
like a
the
video
little,
about
character portraits.
Dreamseeker.
It was probably like all the like band members or something.
Huh. All right. Here, let me pull it up just so I can have a Bring Me the Horizon. Have the little figure here on the screen for when we go to the discussion mode. So all right, we're gonna talk about it here, and I don't have to. We're gonna be leaving this up for YouTube, so I don't have to like do the whole intro and anything. But I'll explain just for anyone who is new. So what we normally do is we'll talk about it here. We'll take turns telling our thoughts, and then we'll go back and take turns and tell you our ratings and stuff for this, and let you know. So I will switch over to this just so y'all can. All right. So yeah, I this was okay. So I'll say right off the bat, the thing is with about what Metal Burb said. I'll address that first. He said that they wanted to make an emo album, and he thinks that in the process they revolutionized. I'm paraphrasing the last part of it. I think he said revolutionized the genre or something like that, or revolutionize the genre moving forward or something along the lines of that. Now I will say 3 points to this. Okay, first point is I'll address the emo part. I would say this is pretty much is. If you die like lyrically, that's what it is. The entire thing is very self-referential, talking about, things that he feels inside and all that, which, all music is, but emo, in that sense, lyrically, I think it is, sonically, it's something pretty much completely different, but the fact that it uses that, it kind of, I think that's where kind of Burb was going with kind of revolutionizing how it is. Secondly, where he said it revolutionized the genre, I don't think it, I think it kind of will in a way, but the second and third part is basically combined. I don't think it really does too much. It's God. It's I'm sorry. I'm like stuttering here. It takes cybergrind, and like hyperpop, like those two, and it kind of just combines them into with like the more of the emo stuff. It kind of, that's all it really does, and brings it into the mainstream, because Bring Me the Horizon's already in the mainstream. These kinds of sounds and mixtures already exist. They didn't create it, is basically what I'm saying. I don't think they really they kind of did it interestingly in their own way. They did, like I said, they did combine it, and with the depth of the different songs and the lyricism and all that, which we'll get into in a second, does kind of elevate it. But sonically, like I said, a lot of this is kind of derivative. It is already existing, in my opinion. So I don't think they, basically that's my thoughts. I don't think they really kind of did a whole bunch to revolutionize the genre. I think what will revolutionize it is the fact that it's basically bringing those other very, very niche genres to the mainstream. That's my thesis for what Burb said. Now if you go into now we'll talk about the actual music, right? So I will say some negatives first. I'm sure the Bring Me the Horizon fans that came here don't want to hear the negatives, but they're honestly kind of light, and so I'll just address them first. There are some filler songs, in my opinion. At least the darkside, for sure, I think was kind of very, it was just very basic. Bring Me the Horizon song from like That's the Spirit. Not a dig to That's the Spirit, but it just kind of didn't fit with the rest of the songs here, because they kind of, that's what they kind of do in this album. They kind of get you used to all these like crazy sounds and change ups and everything. So then there's like a couple songs on here that are just like, they don't do that like at all. It's just like fairly normal song structure. So it's like, it's all, you could argue that it's a break. It's, it's kind of a break in the pattern, but that's not always good. It can be good, but it's not at the same time. So that one, Darkside, I kind of felt the same way about Strangers, though I think Strangers was probably the stronger of the three, and the third one would be Die For You. I thought that was also kind of felt like a filler song, even though I know it's a single. I did like the ending of Die For You, with that nice solo, and it kind of gets they bring the double bass kind of pattern, which they do that a lot in a lot of these songs, by the way. It's really interesting. Especially in the softer songs, they'll like progressively add in more different parts of the drums, and the little, kind of metalcore kind of chugging. They don't really focus on it, sadly. Be nice if they did. They really only did that in Amen, I think, was like the actual like heavy song of the album. There's the rest of it was like heavy parts in the album, which is fine. I think really what they did here was pretty good, to be honest. Again, groundbreaking, maybe some of it. I honestly, like I said, if they took out some of those filler songs, I think a lot of it really works. But again, like Die For You, so part of this album, that the part that I appreciate the most is that we sat here and Bring Me the Horizon has lyric videos for the entire thing, or there's a couple that are actual music videos. The thing that I appreciate about it is it's very progressive feeling. It feels like a whole concept. It is a whole concept. Like the all of the different songs and the videos have like lyrics or imagery that refers to other songs. There's a lot of call and response basically in this album. Like there's my favorite part in this was the rip, RIP Dustcore remix. Is it actually a remix? I don't know. I think they might have just titled it that because it feels like that's something some weird shit they would do. At the end of that song, like it's a whole rest in peace song. At the end of it, they have like this little voice clip that comes in. It's like a eulogy. They're like, and now we'll have a few words, and then it immediately cuts into the next song, Amen. And if you pay attention to the lyrics, it's like he said, like the first lyrics is, I hope you fucking rot in hell, or some shit like that. Some lyrics like that. And then they have the pussy song. It just feels weird saying it. It's an interlude, right? And then Die For You comes in after that, and I feel like that's also kind of a call and response. It's also because in the pussy song, they say, I'm gonna laugh every time I say the word pussy. They say, what would you do for pussy, etc. And then in the next song, it's immediately, I would die for you, I would bleed for you. I feel like it's also a reference to that. So, when you really like dive in, and I think that's one thing I would say to anybody who didn't like the album is to go through and look at it on YouTube. I wish they maybe advertised that a little bit more, that they have this kind of it adds a lot of texture and depth to the different songs, and probably made me appreciate it more. I think if we sat here without those and just listened to it on Spotify, probably wouldn't have hit the same, to be honest. I probably would have not liked a lot of it as much. Sonically, I still do like a lot of it, but I think that helps so much more. And another, again, referencing those music videos, the Youtopia, it's the very first song on it. After the interlude, literally the first song. The text is like kind of backwards. As the lyrics come up, they like go from right to left and then left to right and all over the place. And as I mentioned when we were listening to this, it reminds me of the book House of Leaves. It's a horror book. And when you flip through it, every page is a different structure, because it's about a house that like changes shape as you walk through it. And I feel like that was intentional. I feel like that's like a reference in Youtopia, because if you go to Youtopia and you watch the music video, they show like this mansion, which is basically literally what House of Leaves is about. And I feel like maybe that's like a reference to that. And I think there's other parts of the album that kind of, it feels like that too, because when he says, there's a lyric in the end of the album, somewhere I think it's the last song, he says, swallowing the rabbit hole. And it's like, talking about eating a rabbit, but it's also double entendre about a rabbit hole. It feels like when you think of that imagery, it reminds me again of like House of Leaves. And I feel like I'm talking to like a lot about House of Leaves. I've never actually read the book. I know about it. I know a lot about it. I've watched like videos on it. I own it somewhere, but I've never actually sat through and read it. I really need to. But I know about it. So anyways, so yeah, what else on here? Let me finish getting through this. There's also, again, about the music videos, top 10 statues that cried blood. The imagery in that is basically just like constant color changes and flashes, and it's like almost like it's literally almost blinding. Like if you have epilepsy,
it reminded me of Smiling Friends.
Yeah.
That show.
It was wild. It was really hard to watch, to be honest. And I'm again like it's like just little notes. I wonder if that was a reference to the song title about crying blood, because God, my eyes almost bled, bled blood. So anyways, let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, really, that's kind of what I'm focused on. About is the kind of the experience of it, with that YouTube video. They really made it an experience. You kind of, you're traveling through it and you're listening to these different songs and referencing each other, and it feels like a whole cohesive thing. And that's why my downsides are there's a couple songs that they don't feel like they quite fit. So, but they're not bad songs or anything. There's nothing like egregious. I Die For You, I hated at first. I think again in the concept of the album, it kind of fits a little bit more. I would still probably leave it off if I had a choice, but but it makes a little bit more sense again with that call and response thing. So I guess sonically, production wise, again, YouTube video, everything, they make it a whole experience. They spent, they spared no expense, as Jurassic Park would say. This is like, the production on this is crazy. Electronic production is wild. It's all over the place. It's, again, like House of Leaves. I feel like there's got to be some more into this, that I would like to like kind of find out. But okay, so now I'll just kind of, I went on for like 15 minutes about that. I'll just say, now that I like the music. Yeah, again, I think a lot of the stuff that was done here was actually pretty good. Surprisingly good. Again, except for those few songs, I would listen to a lot of this again. I think Limousine was probably my favorite. If they gave me a whole album of Limousine, I would like it. It had that very spooky kind of, that music video also kind of looked like Silent Hill, and it had a spooky kind of low-the death tones. Mood Ring, I might as well mention them because everyone's talking about that. Everyone says it's a ripoff of Mood Ring, but I really liked that song. Probably the most. Bullet with My Name on It with Under Oath, that was also another really good one. Youtopia, I think that was a good one. Again, like, they have so many there's parts of it where I'm like, whatever, but again, it changes so much throughout each song. They progressively get, kind of heavier as they go, which is kind of like an interesting kind of way to do it, because it's almost every song has, like, they grow into heavier parts. So, it's kind of like they hook you, with the poppier stuff early in each song, and then they start growing, so maybe it's, I feel like, it's a good album for normies for sure. For Bring Me the Horizon fans, I think it's still, a lot of it is very Bring Me the Horizon, to be honest. I don't think it's too out of par, and I didn't like a lot of the stuff from Amo and all that. And I think a lot of what they did here was actually pretty good, surprisingly. I didn't really know what to expect. I think the lyrics on, I can't remember which one it was. It's the song about where he's talking about, maybe it's Lost, or no, it's NA. It's NA. It's NA. I didn't quite like the lyrics on that one. It's very kind of cringy, edgy, but it's also very personal and about himself. So he kind of just might have been in a mood and literally just writing about himself and how much he fucking hates himself. So I can't really knock him for that if that's how he really felt. If it was just to sound edgy, then I can. But I guess I've rambled for long enough. I thought this was pretty good. Is it? I saw like someone say it was genius. Is it genius? It's debatable. I think it could, again, if you really think about the depths of the lore and everything they put in here, it kind of, it's a big production. It is huge. There's a lot on it. So yeah, probably. I don't know. Jordan, what did you think?
I think this is probably the best thing they've done since, I guess, Sempiternal. I don't really like Sempiternal, but I guess just because it's more like generic, but like, I think this is probably the best thing that they've done since then. I thought this was really good. Surprisingly. I did agree that some of the songs were a little bit kind of fillery, but I honestly didn't mind them too much. I think the album would have been fine without them, but I don't think that they really take away anything from the album having them on there. I think they're just kind of okay. They do kind of break it up a little bit, just so everything's not all, crazy change ups and like weird transitions and stuff. So I can understand that, an album kind of needs those peaks and valleys. So I think if the songs were off the album, I think it would have been fine. But I think maybe it would have been a little too short because I really didn't notice how long the album was. It didn't really feel all that long. It feel like it went by uh pretty well, like with a good pace. I didn't
It was
really feel
55
like any
minutes,
of
by
the
the way.
yeah, like there's 55 minutes, and I didn't feel like it was. Honestly, it really, I guess, it's on purpose, but it really does feel like kind of like a soundtrack. Like just having like the like even without the YouTube video and everything, like it just with the song titles and everything, it feels like it should be like a soundtrack to something, you know. Like obviously there's one of them has like OST whatever on it. Uh, yeah, I mean it's kind of obvious there, but what I had noticed the most was honestly the production and the songwriting. I feel like they really took a lot of notes from two very specific bands, and I honestly have something to back it up here, so I don't feel like I'm doing saying anything too crazy. This feels like Bring Me the Horizon kind of absorbed some things from some bands that they've recently toured with, specifically Fall Out Boy and Static Dress, because
Hmm.
they both have played with these bands at the same, around the same time. Like they just went on tour with Fall Out Boy. Like what? I think they played here like 2 months ago. Whatever. They played with Static Dress. I think in like some arena or whatever, and also some festivals. But I feel like a lot of like the aesthetics and like the sound comes from those two bands, and specifically like the new Fall Out Boy stuff, because a lot of like the imagery it really reminds me of the video for the whatever the crying statue whatever, how it's very like bright color but like with kind of like the clip art kind of like feeling kind of stuff, because like a lot of like the new Fallout Boy kind of like album art and like their kind of like merch is all kind of like that, where it's kind of what was it like the like the synth wave kind of like clothing company kind of like look, where it's like the like Windows 95 background with like 3D like nasty like old early 2000s clip art like 3D, models and shit like that. Like it really feels a lot like that. And that also kind of feels like a lot of like the kind of like imagery of like the Static Dress kind of like videos. You know how they're very like weird and cryptic, and like a lot the stuff like especially whenever we did the Static Dress album, how I looked at like the booklet and it had a whole bunch of like messages and like binary like in the corner, and like the lyrics were like how you said with like the book whatever you were talking about, how like the lyrics or like the words are like in different places. Like it's very much like that in like the whatever the lyric book for the Static Dress. So I feel like a lot of like the kind of like imagery and stuff like that mixed with the like obviously like the Metal Gear Solid Evangelion, anime stuff. Like I feel it really feels like that, and I feel like that even like in the sound too. Like it feels like a lot of the songs with like the kind of like glitchy stuff really reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 2. Like at the end with like the Colonel, like the AI is like fucking up and it's like saying like random
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like very like computerized. Like I get a lot of that imagery on this, and so I can definitely see a lot of that. And even at the end with like the last video, how it had like the video of like the concerts or whatever, and then it had like the scrolling text. Like that right there just kind of like really sold the like kind of Metal Gear Solid imagery, and then
Funny,
even whenever we went into like the thing on the computer or whatever, it had like the fucking codec conversation with like the yeah, it was all very like that.
uh,
But even
funny you say
it
that
goes to
because
the sound too.
the that last song that you talk about with the Metal Gear Solid text, um that's the one where when it does the heavy part, he's like screaming, and as he like keeps going, it starts like getting like scrambly and glitchy, and then it cuts out, and then it goes back to the chorus. So
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It even goes back in with like the lyrics and like the vocal delivery and like the production that they did on it to where yeah, like it all goes back around and like I feel like it's very cohesive and it feels very like very much like it's supposed to be like a soundtrack to like a video game or something like that. And even with like the album art, like it feels very like cyberpunk, like even with like was it the limousine song where it is felt very like a kind of like a dark wave kind of cyberpunk kind of like kind of feel. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these songs they all kind of stand out with like kind of like different themes and things, and so that also kind of like made me kind of feel like video game, how like there's like different like levels or whatever. And yeah, and like even like with the beginning where it had like the intro with like the little computer whatever program thing, like it all felt like I don't know, like some video game soundtrack thing, which, even I think the title of the album is kind of like it it sounds like a Metal Gear Solid title, like mm, it's whatever it is with post gen next whatever
yeah,
I don't
post-human next
whatever.
gen.
Yeah, like that just screams like Metal Gear Solid to me. Like it's all very like it comes all back around from the music to the presentation to like the title of everything. Like it all just I don't know. It all felt like that to me, which I think was really pretty cool if you think about it. Because really, not a lot of bands can like take influences and not just do that, if you know what I mean. Like, take Bad Omens you know, for a while, they were basically just Bring Me the Horizon clone, but they basically just did that. But this takes like all those different influences and it still changes it enough and they make it enough of their own to where it kind of feels like Static Dress a little bit, how it's like very like post-hardcore, but very kind of like ambient with a lot of like weird, creepy, like Silent Hill, PlayStation kind of stuff to it. Like it all feels like that,
I mean, it's
but it
very
feels very much its own thing.
if you think
Like
about
it
it, it
doesn't
is
sound
with
like
how
those
crazy
bands.
it is. It's very much Kojima, like literally just not even Metal Gear Solid, just Kojima. Like if you think about how wild, like what's that fucking backpack game where he has the Norman Reedus and
Death
the
Stranding.
yeah, that one. Like it's is that like it's literally just how fucking what the fuck is going on. That's basically how a lot of these songs feel.
Also very Jordan Peele, very like
Mm,
uh Get Out.
yeah.
The what the fuck was the movie with the alien?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really really good movie too. Um, but yeah, if also very much feels like that kind of like or like a A24. Which even brings me back around to something I mentioned while we were listening to it, like um, it kind of reminded me of Knock Loose a little bit, to where it's it, like the Take Me Home song, like that song kind of reminded me of like the last song on here a little bit, just like where like the like the vocal thing kind of just cuts and then just kind of goes to another thing, and then even like the drum tones on this, like they're very much like very like almost bass boosted kind of drums a little bit at times. So like
Hmm.
whenever they do bring in like the more metalcore kind of like drums that they kind of sprinkle in, uh like I think it was on Utopia, like there's like a random like blast beat that comes out of nowhere, and it's like what the fuck, like that just kind of came out of nowhere, but it also kind of, you know, it fit, it didn't really feel out of place. But yeah, there's like that where like the drums just kind of like come in at sometimes, and they're like really really kind of like pushed like in the front of the mix I feel like kind of in front of the vocals at times sometimes, which I think was kind of cool because, you know, not a lot of the times in like modern metalcore bands or whatever where they'll really push something above the vocal because it's really mostly vocal focused. But I feel like whenever the song kind of called for things like that, they weren't afraid to kind of like do things with like the production, and I think that was really cool. And they did that a lot on this album, especially with those like kind of weird random parts that just kind of come out of nowhere, or like the really heavy parts that'll just kind of like get sprinkled in there a little bit, where they kind of like really push it and they really make it extreme, but just, you know, for like 30 seconds, maybe not even 30 seconds, like sometimes like just 5 seconds. And it even goes back to like the kind of like glitchy kind of nature where things just kind of like come in and pop in and kind of come out, and like even within the mix, and I think it's all just kind of like perfectly crafted, almost kind of like a video game soundtrack, but not even just like the music to the soundtrack, but like, you know, like the sound effects and things like in the background, you know,
Hmm.
like that.
I think
I think
they
it's
borrowed
very
from
cinematic.
Bill Murray too. If you think about it, if you think about the Bill Murray stuff we've listened to,
Yeah.
it feels like a lot of that too, with like the random, like weird shit. Like it feels a lot like Bill Murray too. Um,
It was just missing like a random saxophone solo.
yeah. All right. Anything else?
But yeah, I feel like this is very, very cinematic, very, but without it being like blatantly like, oh, this is a cinematic kind of thing. Like
Yeah, a lot
it's
of
all
it you
just kind
really
of
have
like,
to like kind of pay attention to get a lot of it. That's why I said like if we had just probably sat here on Spotify, I don't think like half of the shit would have landed. You really have to. There's a lot of like depth to it that you really have to kind of pay attention to, which is really interesting. To kind of do. Uh,
it's all kind of related to Kojima again.
yeah.
It kind of feels like how he makes video games, but it really like whenever you play the game, you can obviously tell he just wants to make movies, right? I feel like this band. I feel like they just want to make video games. Like I think the next thing they're gonna do, they're gonna make their own video game and they're gonna release an album that's a soundtrack to it. And I think if they could do something like that, I think they could push the genre, you know, not even music wise, just like presentation wise. Cause I feel like even with this, they're like really kind of pushing like a lot of new kind of like ideas. But like if you think about it, a lot of it's like not new. It's kind of like very early 2000s, kind of like MySpace, like even with like the little like secret thing where you had to
Hmm.
type it in, and it felt very like, yeah, kind of like modern, but like I guess like modern futuristic kind of like hackery kind of, dare I say hacker core, but not really, but almost, sometimes almost a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right. Well, what would you rate this?
I think I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't I don't think I'm gonna give it a 10 just because there were a couple fillery songs that
Mhm.
weren't too interesting. Um, they didn't really take away too much, but they were still kind of there. I didn't really get like a super emotional moment or anything. Like it almost had it. It almost pushed it there. But it didn't quite do it. It didn't really give me like a static dress kind of like very emotional kind of like thing. It was still very like all tongue in cheek kind of, but still very personal, you know?
Mhm.
Like it didn't feel too serious, but it felt kind of serious at the same time. Like it's very kind of like conflicting a little bit, but also it just kind of goes again with like the nature of the music, how it's very like sporadic and kind of like weird and all over the place. So I think that probably just kind of like pushes it a little bit further.
Mhm.
So uh, it's just a very weird kind of setup for an album. But then again, I feel like they're really kind of pushing things and trying to make things different and still taking like all these influences. Like I said, like really hear a lot of Fall Out Boy and Static Dress, like just like emo post hardcore, but like the new modern kind of like take on that. Or like what the fuck is that one band? Um they're on Pete Wentz's label. Had the guitars from Counterparts like helped write it or
Oh,
something.
Nothing Nowhere? Is that, or is it?
Yeah, yeah. Nothing nowhere, I'm pretty sure. It very much felt like that, like this just new generation of like I guess it's post hardcore. I guess that would be it. Yeah, just like very like Static Dress, Nothing Nowhere, Fallout Boy, modern emo revival. And I feel like even like I feel like that's kind of where Metal Bird was going with it, and I definitely can see it. Like I definitely hear a lot of that in this, which I can see why he said that now.
Yeah, I don't think that.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
basically that's what. Yeah, I don't think they exactly created anything new. It's more of the blending of the different things that like that is the new. You know what I mean? Like it's just the combination really, but the specific like sounds aren't anything exactly fresh. It's kind of just how they used it, I guess you would say. But yeah,
Yeah.
I I'm gonna agree with you. It's a 9. It's a 9 for me. The 10, usually for me reserved for like something, there's got to be like some really like holy shit wow, or something that just emotionally makes me cry or something like that. Close on the end maybe. um I, I did think the little glitchy part maybe at the very end with the screams, although I did think it was cool and how it kind of ties into like our theory of Metal Gear Solid. I think it kind of distracted from that little
Yeah,
part,
like
um, specifically. But as still outside of that, like I said, I think I would still give it a 9. I think 8 would be too low for how much depth, and how much work they put into all this and tying songs together and creating the production and everything. I think deserves alone to help push that um further. uh had we probably sat here on Spotify, I probably would have gone more of an 8, possibly even a 7. uh but we didn't. We spent the time and read the lyrics and watched the videos and all
yeah, I
that.
will say like presentation wise, I think it's a 10. I think
Yeah,
the whole like with the video and the lyrics and like all that and like the video game soundtrack, cinematic soundtrack kind of like bucket that it's in. I feel like all the presentation wise and everything, I think it's a 10 out of 10. But I think music, if we're talking about the music, I think it's a 9 out of 10. It just didn't quite get there for me, but it almost did.
yeah, still very high. again, surprisingly, based off of, you know, I only heard a couple of the singles, and one of them was Die For You, and I hated it at the time, so I was like, oh god, Bring Me the Horizon, fuck. But sitting here, you know, again, going into it and, you know, reading all the lyrics and everything, it's, you know, they really put work into it. They really tried to bring a lot of different ideas and concepts to a more mainstream kind of sound and audience. And normally a lot of people would probably dislike that thought, but I think the way they do it is really well done and genuine. I think, you know, a lot of the writing that they put in here, you could tell meant something to them, and so I like the way they did it. So yeah, I think this was a 9 out of 10. Surprisingly good. That's it. Surprisingly good. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for me, 9 out of 10 for Jordan. So great job, Bring the Horizon. Still don't think, you know, album of the year, no. But I can see how some people would go that way. I can understand it. So yeah, great job to Bring Me the Horizon. Yeah. So, shit.
Yeah, I literally looked up the credit scene to Metal Gear Solid 2, and it's literally like the same video.
Yeah.
Cause it's even got like video of like live, like actual footage.
Oh, on the side
of like people walking in the street. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
it's
of
the
like
same font and everything.
Yeah, a lot of depth in there. It's really kind of wild. All right, well, shit. I'm glad we only decided to review just this one because we spent 2 hours on it. So
fucking. And earlier I told Ray that we were gonna review this, and she's like, it sucks. You're gonna hate it. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, I don't know. Like, watch. I'm gonna go back and be like, I actually really liked it. And she's gonna be like, yeah, what? Blah blah blah. And I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. Fucking
yeah,
Metal Gear
there's
Solid, and she's gonna
okay.
be like,
Pepe Sylvia, be like, okay, well, this goes here. Yeah, it's really interesting. They did a lot.
She always tells me she has no idea what I'm saying half the time. So like, I'm just gonna go crazy. I have to fucking get a fucking pin board with fucking string.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, we appreciate all y'all for coming. Thanks everybody for whoever watches this video, because it'll be I'm gonna leave it on YouTube. So we appreciate y'all for coming. We will be here Sunday. So for some other album reviews. So stay tuned for that. And we appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with us and listening to Bring Me the Horizon with us. Didn't think I would give a shit, and I did. So thank you, Bring the Horizon, for that. So old Ed Mike, young Ash Jordan, reminding you, never too old for this.